I did.
That one feels real good. That one feels real good. Almost feels like 2 wets and a good peanut butter.
You can use anything.
That one felt pretty good.
I think these are produce bags.
I think that's my winner.
The size of the micron is. We'll talk about that.
These ones almost feel the same to me.
I mean, this one's not that bad. It's a little bit, but this one's super.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the one.
Use your old bubble bags, bro.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I'm using. I'm using a bubble bag right
Use
now.
those work bags.
Yeah.
They got holes in them. It's perfect.
I'm running that 220, baby.
Just the water. No, this one doesn't. When you squeeze it, there's parts. Oh yeah. I might have squeezed
I think we can see it, right?
If you need to rinse your hands off, you can rinse them off into the pile.
That one just looks wet.
Yeah, this is less.
It's a bit dry.
Feels nice wet to me.
We'll go over it. I don't know what's I just put them down. I checked them earlier, but I don't know which ones is
I know. I'm like, dude, the cows are so full.
still stuck to your hands, probably. Then there's one that like balled up really perfectly, and then it all to that core, right? But we are worried about the moisture throughout the entirety of the pile. So it's not just the moisture of the core that we're worried about. It is that temperature of the core, because that's where things are going on. But we want to know where the moisture is everywhere on the pile, because like say in the summer you're going to get it to dry out on the outside really fast, but if your pile's not active, it's going to stay cool on the inside, and it's not going to dry out on the inside. So you're going to, in the summer, if you have your wood chips and you can see the inside of your wood chip and be like, oh wow, the inside of my wood chips are all dry, that's a good sign that your pile's probably too dry. Weeks trying to get that to get moist again. And we're not going to use any product on it, right? Because we want it to stay biologically active, and so we're not going to put products on there that are going to defeat the hydrophobic side of it, right?
Just wetting agents.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I wouldn't use. And compost extract is a wetting agent. Doing this, I'm going to be in there with my hand as well and kind of stirring it up and getting all that biology going off that material as best I can. I'm not going to be in there like feeding it, but I'm just filling the bucket and kind of stirring it around and getting everything moving, getting that biology essentially water soluble or suspended in the water.
All those organisms in there going, woo!
Yeah, it's like a little party in here right now. I wish you guys could feel it.
An opportunity for like a vortex situation as well. Like
Lazy with it as well. And with this method of this slurry, you'll see in the way that I'm applying it, it doesn't really matter because I'm being lazy and I'm doing this intentionally.
Swap technique.
This is like if you have a home garden and you buy compost, literally take a 5-gallon bucket. I wouldn't like overwater when you're doing this. That's the biggest factor, is putting too much water. You can't really put too much biology, but you can put too much water on a pile. And so you can see, like, I'm putting the whole material on there. I'm not straining it by any means. I'm just doing the slurry method, right? And there's all the nematodes right at the bottom. So that's one method. The other methods are, say you have like something you want to pump it. People always ask what size bag. It's kind of dependent on what you're spraying it out of, what you're using, what your pump setups are. The orifice size of your sprayer is kind of the limiting factor to the bag. If you don't have screens in your system. If you have screens in your system, then it's the size screens that you're using essentially. So
would you say 400 is a good generalization?
400 microns?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good. This recipe.
Oh wow.
I haven't done anything right. It's just sitting there. Oops.
Other way.
Yeah. So without. They're just suspended in the water right now. So you can use compost to make your own humics and fulvics. If you have like untreated water and you need to treat water, you can do something like this. Now, to make the actual extract, what we're gonna do is actually just get in there and agitate it again, right? You can do it on the outside of the bag. You can put your hand on the inside if you feel like you're not getting a good enough agitation in there.
But gently.
Yeah, gently. You're not. We're not trying to punch the microbe.
You don't want to. You don't want to crash the party.
Stirring them off.
It's just a mixing. No, it's just a mixing. We're gonna just move this pile right here.
Yeah, right.
That's all we're gonna do. There's extra pitchfork right there if anybody wants in.
No, it was working for me. I had this break in the middle.
Okay, I'm putting my pitchfork.
Somebody in. Somebody jump in. Somebody get in there.
No, you're fine.
We're getting a little elongated.
This is what we paid for.
Well, some of they started combining the two pipes.
I'm coming right over the top of you, okay?
Thanks for the warning.
Get in here, Dr. Lane. Get in here. Make way. Make way. Make way. Oh shit. You're 71. You're doing great. Amazing. I think the only reason why you got a little stuck yesterday was because the place was filled with pot smoke. And it was just girl. That's all it was. It was just the weed smoke, and it gets all of us like that, you know. Some of us sharper than others.
Makes me emotional. We can turn everything. We can turn piles with our mentor.
Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't believe it.
Get a camera.
I got it on film.
We got the. And I guess we'll give the dropout, but this is the grassroots that the other cover we were talking about, what actually has the grommet holes in it and handles on it that they've been started making. So pretty sweet for small hand turn piles. Oh, this one's super big.
Yeah, this is like an exact replica, but smaller of our window covers. Yeah.
We talked about the greenhouses and the fact that I'm a big fan of light diffused greenhouses and trying to cool the plants rather than the air to do that. There's a climate screen, also known as a shade cloth. And so just to kind of give you guys an idea of what some of these materials look like, the diffused is a poly for the most part. And so implementing what we learned from the Cravo houses, like I was talking about, into the more traditional hoop houses and greenhouses. And so this is a more common piece of plastic using some of these things, but I'm not the biggest fan of this because it also doesn't diffuse. A lot of people look at it like it's a polywoven and really durable, but the durability isn't necessarily the main factor as it is some of the diffusion properties. The company even made a green material. We used to put these on greenhouses in the hills because people thought they were hiding better. You know, it was a little easier to be on the under. It does create a little bit more shade, so it doesn't have the same light penetration, but in the heat of the summertime, it does pretty well. Whether it hit people or not, I don't know. When you're in the middle of nowhere, it sticks out a little bit. The twin wall polycarbonates are kind of interesting. They transmit a little less light. This is a 5mm twin wall called Solex from a company. It actually comes on a roll. It doesn't seem like it bends, but it comes on a roll like a carpet and goes on to greenhouses. This is a more traditional greenhouse cover of a polycarbonate, an 8mm twin wall, so it does have a lot more R value. Transmits more like 76 to 82% light. Diffuses more heat than colors like white. So this is highly reflective, but it actually, when you put the heat gun on it, encourages more heat than a white material. But The climate screens that we see, or I like to use, let me put these in order, look more like this: white, reflective, highly breathable. A lot of the shade houses in Mexico for tomatoes and cucumbers switch to this over black because they get more light and less heat, which actually produces more sets of fruit rather than more leaves in the summertime. And so they come in different little configurations. You might look at a 35 or a 40 in some cases. One of the things that I was talking about with a lot of the greenhouse companies and getting things kind of confused sometimes, because a lot of the people that jumped into the cannabis aren't necessarily from maybe the greenhouse space as much. This would be more like a 50, maybe even a 60. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not going to sit and read everything just to make sure real quick and get the idea. The energy curtain, some light still comes through, and you're not losing the heat. You're sealing off that space and making it a little bit smaller and not trying to heat the whole volume of the greenhouse. But in light depth, we just close the light depth curtains in the wintertime anyway, so some of that stuff doesn't matter as much. You see that in the that our company came up with back at the time working with this company LS that makes a lot of these products was the 3-layer blackout system. Canada uses mostly 2 layers because they're not worried about the starlight, and I agree, but in America mostly it's 3-layer systems because the more pinholes people see, the more freaked out they get thinking that it's going to compromise their crops. But in fact, most of the time when they test these curtains or look at them, it's high noon, and we're never depping greenhouses in the middle of the day. It's usually in the evening time. And one thing to know about light depth and light leaks and things like that, sure, it can be a concern, and I don't advocate having big light leaks or problems, but it does get dark right away. It does get dark, especially in an automated system. Maybe you're pulling the curtains at 7 at night. It's getting light depth sucks. I don't want to do that kind of shit. And so what I learned in Humble from a lot of the growers originally was that when we use the light meters and check for lux, I don't really care what number it is, because what happens when it's dark to the plants, this thing says 0, or the app on our phone. When it's light, it says some number basically, right? And so when I go out in the morning, or we go out anytime, our eyes see color. Plants don't. When the sun's starting to come up, we start to see color. The plants to go, I see it too and I'm awake. They actually have to have light to wake up, and while we're still seeing color, if that makes sense. And so to verify that, what we do is we go first thing in the morning out to our garden and we wait for the sun to come up. So you might go out there with your coffee and a little haze doobie or something, wait for the sun to come up. And when this registers 0 to something, it goes to 1, 13, 20, whatever it goes to from 0, that means the plants are awake. And we look at our watch right there, and so for my house it was 5:25 a.m. And so at 5, but the weather is great, the plants are breathing, and I'm back in the house with the kids, putting them to bed or whatever. It's not a big hassle. So dinner time kind of, is tarp time. Bedtimes, take off the tarps if you have kids. Style. And so with the beds, we're trying to still keep moisture content, but the word dryback still exists, but we're staying within a range. And I like that much better, because if everybody listened to that theory or that, you'd see a lot better plants, I think, out there. With the light sensors to see how much light we have. Another little side note that I deal with is a lot of people love to strip their plants super crazy, and I'm a little bit more conservative on that. People will take the light meter and they go, it's 800 par up here or whatever. And Scott might have said this and similar stuff, and maybe I got it from you too, actually. Fuck, because I loved it and I use it everywhere I go. It is. It was last year. And so when they put the light, and I do this in Connecticut, one of the farms that I dealt with stripped the plants so bad that the tables were lit up everywhere. And I go, we're growing tables? What the fuck, you know what I mean? Like when you were saying a leaf might have 200 par, and they're like, there's not enough light getting down there, so they strip the leaf off, and now you're getting nothing. Yep. And the plants are facilities for fertilizer, and they're also solar panels for the light in the first place, is what we were kind of getting at. And so pulling off yellow leaves and things that are dead, I get. Maybe big leaves that cross each other and they're covering flower sites and some things like that. It's easier to go back and take off more if you have time, and than to take off too much and go, whoa, I fucking.
Where they must, how we have up the artist, where they must. She the country for the class, where we put with a little more, we are shut up, where they must. But we don't really
Every single pro style in my belt.
That's the kind of stuff he nerds out on. 'Cause these are like his mentors. And stuff.
Okay.
I think they're shooting a podcast. So as long as you just stay like hidden in the corner or whatever, we can get some shots of him if you want.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, I get all the. You can get some beans eggs. I can get some beans Oh! Again! It was like 3 times in a row. I did it!
Stand here like we're doing without any air moving. You can, you know, some of us in sweatshirts might be getting a little warm. You might walk in here and go, whoa, this greenhouse is a little too hot. But that's not necessarily the case. We're in socks, shoes, hats, gloves. You know, sometimes de-leafing and it's too hot or something. I'm like, fuck that. Yeah, you're not. Go out and pick vegetables in the summertime with some workers and see how hot it is. They're not closing the curtains on Mother Nature to pick the fucking lettuce or the tomato. You ever see people run with bell peppers on their shoulders? A lot of lights. Mixed light people, they're running lights when the sun's out even. It's like a whole nother world now. I'm like, the sun's out and the lights are on, and they're like, yeah. And it used to be like, something's wrong, you know, like, you don't do that. Now it's mixed light, and I'm like, okay, fuck, I guess we've graduated to craziness.
It gets smoky though.
In the wintertime, maybe, the angles are different. Okay, let's do it, then go. But if they start talking you out of shit, it's usually because they suck at making it work. You know, the reliability behind things sucks, and the installers suck. It's something that sucks. Go ahead.
chickens now I
And
love
typically we
chicken.
get our process, or even a lot of companies, Door says, hey, I want to buy first. A lot of times these companies, they created such widgets that they put your ideas or anybody's idea or anything into a widget and outspits a result. Do we use Foes? Does Foes meet the pricing for the yield that we want for this? If it doesn't, they're like,
Sorry, you guys can just walk around us with the dramatic effect. Sorry for being away. Like, right? It's just such a good shot. Sorry for being away, guys. Yeah, say hi to the lens. Give some love. I do have some CBD cream if your back still hurts. Oh, no, I have some. So, yesterday I really had but I jammed something. And I used CBD cream all day, and it boosted every face mask on me. I don't have anything.
Can you just keep applying it?
I just don't have weight.
Yeah, we can do it, and it's worth doing, but the degree that people do it is insanity.
Yeah.
Out commercial amendments. We have a commercial amendment company, but it's not really a soil amendment. It's kind of more of a sweet top dresser and tea, or a nice transplant thing. But being able to build something and from raw materials on your land, and it was like a really amazing moment when I realized like how, in a way, how raw the material
year or that season is oftentimes what your soil is needing. So as we talk about like what kind of things do you layer, what kind of things do you utilize from your own farm, really number one, you want to make sure that it's seasonal, because if you're all outdoor growers, some of you are not, but this is specific to outdoor growers or even greenhouse light tap, is that whatever is blooming, whatever is super vital is also exactly the cycle that your garden is going to be going through. Because invasive plants just keep coming and coming and coming. But if you're utilizing for cold compost, for your hugel beds, for a lot of what Josh is talking about for the soil building,
and just by covering the ground a good 2 feet, and I described this before a few times, and then just putting some dirt over there, growing putting cut potatoes on there, putting more hay on top of it to where it's super thick. I mean, after 1 year, it's I can't believe how nice the soil is. It's amazing how well the hay breaks down, and you can add more to it. As the potatoes get up a little bit, other weeds will come up, and then you just kind of you can just pull the weeds kind of straight up because there's not a lot of soil and not a lot of roots there, so there's not really.
I see a bee, and then I see 3 ladybugs on the ground, and I'm like, how could I come in here and screw this up?
The soil, I mean, everyone sees that it's light in color. It's pretty sandy and grainy, and maybe there's some clay to it, because it does kind of, it clays up, but it's super powdery. So I mean, any way we can kind of crack into it and add fibers and organic material, we're just gonna over, and we'll get the trailer, and we'll start getting material that we can put in here. Yeah, there was a flat trailer. There was a flat. Is it?
A little wheelbarrow.
There's the black.
Let's put the dirt in one area.
Yeah. So let's just dig and fold everything inside. Right? Yeah. And
we're going all the way across, right?
We're going this direction, maybe like this one. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just keep talking while people are doing stuff. What we did here is we just folded all we have leaves, so we have a whole tote of leaves right here. We did lasagna. Yeah, we just did lasagna. Someone can take some of this. Great. There's so much. I can't grab it all. nice having a chicken around.
How far out you think you want to come like this there?
So yeah, there's gonna be a garden bed here. So and just to add a little, like, let's like kind of flare it out a little bit.
This
here.
way, like that?
Yeah. Kind of
okay,
like
cool.
You want this in to flare too?
We're gonna put this up a little bit.
Okay.
Here, let me see. Get it in a little more deeper. We could do, should we do two channels, like two things right here? Maybe let's do this. Oh yeah, perfect. Let's do that.
What's your vision? What's your vision?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'd like to know, should be out of here within the hour, and then another hour to get home. But then I might have to probably take a bit road. Anything, so that's cool. And maybe, you know. If you wanted to, yeah, you could, yeah, like, yeah, totally, yeah, why not? Let's try and go down one more layer on this floor.
Sure.
Like Google Maps, curve. We can put a layer of these leaves right here.
Yeah. I was just doing it to see
Right
it
here.
right now.
We need to see it.
We'll cover it up.
Yeah, right now we need to see it.
Well, we're not going any deeper than this probably, right?
Right.
It's a workshop, but really it's just labor that they have.
Goes in. I got you.
You ready?
Love those pants, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Green. What's green under there?
What green are you using?
You want something green under?
Do you want to drag the leaves over here by any chance? If that's easy, it might be. And also this green grass is really nice. Yes, awesome. I love the breaking it. We want the stick to touch the earth, so the least amount of air that we can make, the better. But it's not to be freaking out. Yeah, I love that.
It's fun while you do it. It's like good horse hair.
You know what I'm saying? And then we'll grab some leaves and throw them on there. Let's see, there's, okay. And put some of this dirt in there too. And this dirt will help us kind of get it in. And if who has when that trailer gets done, let's empty that and then let's get a little bit of this black dirt over here.
We need a drum.
Green material in this bag?
Yeah.
Anybody got a knife? Do we need this load?
Honestly. Where is she with her drone? That would actually be perfect.
Yep. Spread the manure out because there's not much of it.
Let me go ask her.
And also break the patties up as much as possible.
I think we might almost be done.
So what?
I think we might almost be done.
I don't think this is going to be done at 5.
Do you want to like clip up some of the organic matter? Where it's...
Started there.
Are we still layering it?
Yeah. Ultimately, we want to use all the shit. So whatever we can do, wherever you can. Just not over here. Yeah. A lot of force
Where you're at?
It's all you, Frankie.
Find out. Hey Josh.
Yeah.
What do you think about this pig?
You know how we doing it?
Has any of you guys doing the drone?
Break it down.
My
eyes were just thinking of that.
Okay.
Piling this one up nice and high right here.
Well, you're still mixing this one in?
What do you want this?
We can bring, we can dump it, like, right, you got some there.
Dump it here?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
Be over here.
That motherfucker caught his gun in his pocket. That's crazy.
Spread it out. Have fun with it.